All right, shalom, shalom. As always, all honor, glory, and praise be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakwadash. As always, shalom to the hopefully elect scattered amongst the earth. Started with our elder apostles over the great Millstone Church on down to all you great men, you brothers, continuing the faith, pushing the doctrine, the true doctrine of the scriptures, standing up for our nation and continuing in the faith, seeking the kingdom. I say likewise, shalom to the rest of you repentant Israelites out there. Likewise, seeking the kingdom of heaven. So, just scrolling through a little few shorts, and it's just the thought of this world. Scrolling through the shorts, you get a piece of the mind, that's going on in the world. The wave, if you will. The mindset, different perspectives. And what I got pulled up here is the dude DDG, and I forget the other dude name. But they streaming, they like talking about how they made all this money last night. They had, I believe they had a casino or whatever the hell they had. But it's just not fulfilling to them, And they go on into this, dialogue, conversation amongst each other, and trying to basically come to some understanding of why they do what they do and why they feel empty and how they feel empty. And it's just interesting because it just show you this world don't offer you anything. This current world, the world that's given into the hands of the wicked, the so-called white man's world, who is Esau, Edom, according to the scriptures, And these two dudes, they're Jakes, meaning they're Israelites, they're so-called black people, all right? They're Israelites who have, I don't want to say succeeded, but they're joined hand to hand in this world, and they're up. They making their way in this world because they're willing to chase the things that this world offer, but internally, they're not fulfilled. So I'm gonna just play the clip real quick.
Bro made all that money yesterday, but they don't feel like nothing.
That's the trap. I don't think a lot of people understand that. That's the trap.
You say I made all that money and I don't feel like nothing.
Bro made all that money yesterday, but they don't feel like nothing.
That's the trap.
And it's basically not no just camera talk. You could tell, like, dude on the left, he going to like speak like this real, He like this just really how I see stuff because he trying to make it make sense and tell you his conclusions. He's like basically like it ain't in the world that they chasing at this point because they done it, and really it just never fulfilled them obviously. And the things that this world offer, the things that this world esteem, these trifling women, these mansions and lands and positions is not fulfilling because ultimately at the end of the day it's not the kind of riches that's going to endure forever. So if it was something that was ongoing and something they can actually see an end to, or not an end to, moreover, something eternal, they'll be fulfilled. But since they know that they just barely chipping the block and they just don't have anything more than what's offered. You can see these dudes' faces. It's nothing. Like, look at these dudes' faces. Dude got a damn owl around his neck.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. That's the trap. And I was telling Train the same shit. You spend 19 million, you make 27 M's. You made $8 million. You're not happy. What are we gambling for? What are we chasing?
I don't know, bro.
Because
see, I don't know, bro. He asked what was they chasing. He said, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know what the hell I actually want to get out of this. So Psalm chapter 82 and 5, it says, they know not. He just said, I don't know. Neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. It's darkness. If you don't have eyes to look like they light, they shine and they up. They got the money. They got fans. They got the motion, if you will. They got the women, they got the locations, positions, but they in darkness because they don't know. Nothing fulfills them because they literally Israelites through the spirit. you know, and ultimately carnally, you know, but they're Israelites. So this world will never fulfill them because ultimately these are the people who's supposed to be governing and ruling the world, you know. A little whatever X amount of millions can't do nothing for you, for real. You're truly about dominion. You're about rulership. You're about serving a higher power. You know, that's what you're truly built for. That's what you was made for. So any position outside of your true position is not going to be fulfilling. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So of course they're walking on in darkness. Everything's upside down. The things they believe in, they don't even truly believe in. The things they do, they don't believe in. The things they invest their time and life into, they don't even believe in. So you see the faces they make. These dudes look crazy. You know? They really trying to figure it out. It says in verse 6, Psalms 82:6, I have said, ye are gods. So you a god. What is 18 million papers with a so-called white man's face on it go do for you? You're supposed to be conquering worlds and galaxies and understanding the meaning of, you know, the grain of a dirt, you know, and, you know, real intricate details that's here on this earth. You know, but the so-called white man, the devil, Esau, Edom, has put in front of you these paper dollars to chase and give you the worst of the worst of the women. You know, you got, you know, probably got some land, you probably got a crib, but you filling it with filth. So it'll never be fulfilling. You got all these women that you taking, but you're not, you know, making a palace and keeping them there because the women bugged out of their mind. It's just ongoing. Nothing here is ultimately fulfilling. I have said to your gods, and all you are children of the Most High, but you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. That's the lifestyle these dudes living. They just normal dudes.
The winds, the only thing that feels...
They not about, you know, the bigger thoughts and bigger conversations and the bigger things that are at hand. They really just out here walking on in darkness, not knowing, as he started off saying. So I'm going to let that play through.
Bro made all that money yesterday, but they don't feel like nothing.
That's the trap. I don't think a lot of people understand that. That's the trap. And I was telling Train the same shit. You spend 19 million, you make 27 M's. You made $8 million. You're not happy. What are we gambling for? What are we chasing?
I don't know, bro.
Because the wins, the only thing that feels good is losing and knowing you're gonna fight back. That's what we're addicted to, losing and fighting back. You gotta stop.
Bro, you're making a lot of sense.
No, I'm making sense. I'm at this point, I'm not joking. When it comes to gambling,
See, I'm not joking. You know, he not joking. He dead serious. He think he found something out. He like a philosopher. I believe that's what the Epicureans was. They're just people, you know, when you read about in the Acts, these dudes, like it's just sects of people. They just come up with their own thoughts on things. And, you know, I believe it's the Epicureans and the Stoics or whatever. I'm just saying, like, those different sects of people, like, they basically create their own philosophies. This is the dude sitting there creating his own philosophy, trying to explain to this other dude, this other Jake, like, why what he's saying makes sense, and he needs something to fulfill that blank space that's in his mind. I don't know. So this dude told him something that ultimately still don't make sense because you have a purpose, and he has to rock with it because it's the only thing that makes sense. So now he goes on in this imagination, and it keeps him in this world. But ultimately, he needs to understand and know that he's an Israelite, and that the only thing that is going to fulfill him is to serve the Heavenly Father and to seek the kingdom of heaven. Because in the kingdom of heaven, we going to have all of these things. Your 18 million not going to ever be taken away. It's not going to be able to go away. It's going to be completely replenishable. It's going to be ongoing. And it's not going to be about how many of those you have. It's going to be about respect, honor, and glory, you know, and the things that are actually enduring. Not things that only endure for a short time, but things that endure for the long term, for the ongoing. That's why the stuff here isn't fulfilling. That's why you sit here seeking purpose, because who you truly are.
Yeah, serious. There's no goal. It's not like, oh, if I hit 10 M's, I'm gonna go buy a house, get me a bad bitch with a boat and a dog, and I'm good. It's like, damn, I hit 10 M's, I gotta hit 30. You're not even happy.
That's it. They're not even happy. They did all that stuff. They got all the women. They got the cribs. They got the cars. You know? It's all a facade. It's nothing. It's probably a thrill to chase it and get to it, but at that point, you got it, and you don't got no purpose. You just empty on the inside. So I'm gonna get this and close out, you know, because they just proof that, you know, we seeking something greater, and it's not gonna be fulfilled when the world is in the hand of the wicked. All right, this is the book of 1 John. 1 John 2:15, it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. You know, these bags, this gambling, these fake women, you know, these riches, these just opportunities that's not fulfilling, these positions like being a rapper or being a streamer or being known. Like, you know, it says, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So he don't have true love. Because the true love comes through keeping the Lord's command. Knowing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, his knowledge, his wisdom, and actually doing it and continuing it, fulfilling it, knowing that it's an ongoing end game to that. Knowing that, you know, you're going to have life eternal in the kingdom of heaven, and then you're going to be fulfilled because you're going to be occupied in things that are actually fulfilling, because your mind and your spirit was made to actually do certain things and to be a creator, and not just a content creator, but an actual creator. You know, understanding the elements, understanding all things of life, and being able to use and manipulate those things for good. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, because that's all that shit is. Chasing so-called white man dollars and, you know, plastic hoes, and it's just crazy. It says, in the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And then we go close it there. It's not of the Father, it's of this world, the fake world, not the world eternal, not the kingdom of heaven, but the so-called white man's world, which is written for destruction. So, you know, I might play it again. Maybe not need to, but it's a simple message. You know, love not this world, fight for the kingdom unto the death, And the Lord, he gonna glorify us, and our glory gonna be real. You know, we truly gonna be happy. You know, and I'm gonna play it again because that's what he ended on. He said, we're not even happy. We're not confused. We know what's going on, so we're fulfilled.
Bro made all that money yesterday, but they don't feel like nothing.
That's the trap. I don't think a lot of people understand that. That's the trap. And I was telling Train the same shit. You spend 19 million, you make 27 M's. You made $8 million. You're not happy. What are we gambling for? What are we chasing?
I don't know, bro.
Because the wins, the only thing that feels good is losing and knowing you're gonna fight back. That's what we're addicted to, losing and fighting back. You gotta stop.
Yeah, that's the spirit. He said losing and fighting back is the only thing we addicted to. And see, the thing that he is actually addicted to is what he ought to be doing. Knowing we failed, but we supposed to be fighting back, making our way back up. So there's some reality here.
Bro, you're making a lot
No,
of
I'm
sense.
making sense. I'm at this point, I'm not joking. When it comes to gambling, I'm dead serious.
See, but he think he talking about the gambling. That's not what you addicted to. You actually were created to be on top, simply put, and to stay on top. So you never want to be down.
There's no goal. It's not like, oh, if I hit 10 M's, I'm gonna go buy a house, give me a bad bitch with a boat and a dog, and I'm good. It's like, damn, I hit 10 M's, I gotta hit 30. You're not even happy.
That's it. So Lord willing, this was useful. Simply put, admonishing, edifying, exhorting, you know, to you true believers out there, you brothers in the faith, you know, the few sisters, you know, you believers listening. So until next time, I'm gonna say shalom.